There we go. Okay, what to do, everyone? It's your boy Dak Donaway, aka the Dig Dug himself. Ladies and gents, we're here today with some more Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and today we fight the flagship monster, the one on the cover of the box. Not Nergigante. That's old news. That's dusty news. That monster was trash. As far as flagships go, Nergigante was trash. All right, he himself as a fight was garbage. The armor and his weapons was fire. Actually, it was dragon, but it was good stuff. He himself, trash. This monster right here, the very opposite of fire, but still fire, if you catch my drift. Now, Vanilla Ice is dope. Now, here's the thing. He is not one of my favorite Elder Dragons of all time, but I will say he's definitely going to be one of my favorite fights, period, of all time. Fighting him is great. Like, I could be in a bad mood and fight him and be in a good mood after the fight. It's one of the few fights that I've actually had few monsters that had the opportunity to actually fight that I enjoy every single inch of the fight. And he kind of forces me to play his game while I'm constantly trying to force him to play mine. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, Vanilla Ice Valkana. I can't pronounce nothing. That's why I call him Vanilla Ice. Regardless, Vanilla Ice, all right, he's good. Okay, it's a large departure from the monsters you probably fought before, because he's the only real monster I've fought up until this point that was significant in terms of like his presence. It's a very tough fight. I'll admit, off the rip, it's a tough fight. A much longer fight. This fight itself, for me, in this particular video, took me, I think, 32 minutes, something like that, a long time. But obviously I cut the video down to something like about 15 minutes, something like that. But one thing you should really know when you go to fight him is that prepare for a long endeavor. If you are someone who blocks, you have a lance or something like that, prepare to block a lot. You're going to be doing a lot of that. That R2 button is going to be your best friend, or right trigger, or whatever it is. Simply because he has a lot of things that force you rather to hold his stuff. He has a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of it you must hold, and he'll force you to hold a lot of it. And he does this relentlessly. Like, he has the rush down heavy focus of that of a Tigrex, but has the zoning game similar to monsters that's not even in this game anymore. Shigaro Magala comes to mind. But if you are going to fight him, you can't necessarily go against the grain. You must take a page out of Bruce Lee's book and be fluid like water, move like water. Bruce Lee said something about moving like water in one of his videos, or movies rather. I think it was Enter the Dragon. I don't know. Regardless, he's a monster that that demands a lot of respect, and if you forego that respect, you will cart quickly. Okay, he has a lot of attacks that actually force you to either block, run away, or just hold a lot of his stuff. Ice. He has the ability to just conjure ice in the battlefield, so to speak. It will block off large areas of the map. It'll make it difficult for you to actually see him. However, these ice constructs can be broken to the point where you can just jump off of them and use them as like a miniature ledge. But it's the fact that he can conjure so many, and then after conjuring them, making it hard for you to see him, that is, he will use an ice beam attack, ranging from just a straightforward beam or a sweeping beam. It's pretty ridiculous. The amount of stuff that he can do, that he can actually combo with, is immense. Like, fighting him is a chore. If you don't get him your first time, that's okay. Okay, it's gonna take a couple of tries to actually knock him out if need be. Fear not, he's not your standard run-of-the-mill monster. He's in a different order. This is the difference between tier 3 and tier 4 monsters, okay? Tier 3 monsters, you have a great chance. You can probably do it, not a real issue. Tier 4 monsters, the Elder Dragons, the real ones, the slappers, if you will, the clappers on top of that, they are something else. So, with all that madness out the way, understand there's a lot of things you have to watch out for. A lot of things. Anytime he does anything with ice, you have to watch out for it. You can either dodge out of the way, or you can either block it. He can conjure the ice from the sky. He can conjure the ice from the ground. He can shoot an ice beam, I guess you could say, into the ground. But if you're caught within it, it is an unblockable state. He forces the ground around you to, there's a word for it, but it makes to where you're forced to struggle within like almost being like stuck in mud, like a real life being stuck in mud. And with that, he can actually combo into like a tail spike. Now, this tail spike he does a lot. It's a very fast attack. If you're a lancer, don't try to poke in between his pokes. Just counter each poke. If you're a sword and shield user or anybody else, roll 180 degrees around him, so that way he has to force himself to turn around, making him slower to go with these pokes. Guys, the amount of things I could tell you about this monster is immense, okay? He fights like no other monster before him. He has a multitude of different things that you have, like every single thing he can do, you have to watch out for. This is a monster, like I said, it's gonna take you a couple of times. I only know so much about him because in the beta I fought him like a billion times. So fighting him was no real thing to me. But the first like 5 or 6 fights, they were rough. That was very, very rough. So just understand that you either have to put up or shut up when it comes to fighting him, okay? If you want me to break him down some more, I will do a proper monster analysis video where I will break things down even more so for you. But for the betterment of just what this series is, the monster dex, if you will, I'm just gonna let you know that everything he does, you have to watch out for. He's gonna do them a lot, so to give you a bit of time to adapt to it, a lot of things are gonna be really tough to just immediately adapt to, especially if you can't block, because a lot of things he does is unblockable. But just play it slow. You have 50 minutes, okay? 50 minutes, play it slow. Let him go through a couple of things a few times. You'll kind of see what he can and you cannot do. Figuring out whenever he's enraged or not is kind of easy. It's just whenever he's fully iced out. So try to spam the clutch flint shot thing. It does great damage. Yeah. Weakness is fire and also dragon. Moving on, let's talk about the gear. It is absolutely godlike. Wow, some of the best gear in the game by far. Okay, so Velkhana's armor is amazing visually and functionally. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful look at for the males, beautiful look at for the females, and it's stunning. It's great armor. I love the design. It's immaculate. Alpha and beta looks fantastic. But the cool thing to look at this, well, the main thing to look at this rather, is the abilities on the armor set itself. So we're looking at critical draw, quick sheath, flinch free, coalescence, and 2 points into divine blessing. Now it has 3 unique abilities, well, not full on unique, 2 full unique, 1 is just another set ability. Its set ability is critical element. That's if you have 2 pieces of the armor, and its other one is frostcraft, which you have 4 pieces of the armor. What frostcraft is, if your weapon is sheathed, give it a little bit of time, it'll glow bright blue. Once it's in that state, you will have increased attack to your attacks, be it melee or shots for your gun or stuff or whatever, until the blue goes away. Now, how do you get the blue to go back? You just put your weapon away, give it a bit, it'll recharge, and boom, you have the increased attack again. That's why you have critical draw and quick sheath as 2 abilities. Very, very useful. I'm glad that they really did that. Now, moving over, there is its other ability, Coalescence. What Coalescence does is, if you're hit with a status attack or an elemental blight, once you recover status or elemental blight, you'll be given an attack bonus and an elemental bonus, and also a status bonus. Let me double check it. I know I'm right, but gotta hit it with the buttons. Yes, you're giving us an elemental bonus or a status bonus. Grants 18 points to attack or 90 points to element, 15% build up rate. Of course, this is with level 3. Now, if anything, I highly recommend you guys, at least if anything, make a mix set with this armor that gives you at least Coalescence, at bare minimum Coalescence 1 or Coalescence 3. I'm probably going to just run a Coalescence 2, but I recommend you get Coalescence, if anything at all. It's a great ability. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good, especially if you're like someone like myself who tends to run into a monster's fight head on, not caring about what my resistances are, getting burned, getting like bled, getting hit with like poison and all sorts of random blights. I used to get hit with all of them because I don't care about my resistances. It's a really cool ability to have it be that kind of player. I recommend it. If anything, I recommend just getting the armor. It's just good skills. It's a slots to be had as well. So if anything, guys, do yourself a favor, make this armor set, okay? Please make this armor set. It's worth it. If you're not gonna make the armor set, you gotta make some of the weapons, some of the best weapons in this by far. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes over Kush's ice weapons. This monster's weapon so good, it literally makes Kush's ice weapons 100% obsolete. There's no reason to even use Kush weapons outside of the design. Kush has less attack, less sharpness, less element. I think it may have an affinity bonus on it, but bro, when you have less everything except affinity, and that affinity is only because its natural affinity is like 0, then that's not a win. You lost, bro. You lost. So run Vanilla Ice weapons, because they're fantastic. Natural purple is you'll hear ever. Its armor is good. Its weapons are good. Then again, it is a flagship monster on top of being again, and it is to be necessarily seen to have these really good bonuses going for it. But nevertheless, it's some stuff you utilize because honestly, it's just so daggum good. So where does that leave us? Valcon is one of the best monsters I've ever had a chance to fight in all of Monster Hunter. He's a very demanding monster that requires you to keep your head on a swivel because he's coming for them cheeks any way he can actually come and get it. And he has some of the best gear that I've ever had the pleasure of running across. I want to say the only monsters that actually give me probably better gear flat out across the full-on board was Lucinargahuga in 3 Ultimate. His stuff was amazing. My word, it was so good. But Valcon's stuff is very good as well. But then again, it's one of those things where you work really hard and you actually get a full-on gift for working so hard. These are your spoils for working hard. For hard work given, you get amazing gear, an amazing fight, and I hate to say it, but an amazing monster. His fight can be very, very, very frustrating to some, depending on what type of weapons you actually use or what kind of player you are, what type of place that you usually tend to run across. But for me, I like it. I like it because it's a fight that I can actually, I can win. It's a fight I can win. However, oh my goodness, however, if you're going to fight this monster, do not, I absolutely repeat, do not shy away from ice resistance. This is another fight where I kind of have to put away my stupidity and have to actually play a little bit smart here. The amount of ice he can conjure and smack you with is numbing. Okay, it is absolutely ridiculous. No pun intended by the numbing bit that is, because ice numbs because it's cold, whatever. But you really need to go in here with a very good amount of ice resistance. I highly suggest coming here with plus 20. That way you're not getting ice blight by every single thing he does. Because I mean, the amount of things that can give you ice blight in this fight is galling. Okay, so remember this. If you're gonna be guarding anything, remember to come here with guard up because he has lots of beams. What else is there? Play slow. Heck, don't worry about trying to beat him your first time around. If you can, kudos, shout outs, big homie. But you really want to see how he actually does play because he has a lot of things in here that will mix you up depending on your particular situation you actually have him in. One other thing to note is that if you have Slinger Torch Pods, or Torch Pods I think they're called, it'll knock down the whole ice pillar in one shot. Remember that. So in case you're trying to clear path or you're really not about the life that he's actually presenting you with, you can actually knock a lot of those down with one shot with the Torch Pods. So that's a nice little bit of information to use right there for yourself. But nevertheless, everyone, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. And this one's kind of short and maybe a little slim on the info. But then again, I can literally be here all day, and I don't really want to be here all day talking about this guy. Honestly, I'm so far behind in these videos that like I'm pretty sure 99.9% of you already fought this guy. But nevertheless, because the information needs to be heard, and every video was someone's first video, the information still had to be had. Nevertheless, it's been your boy. I'll talk to y'all very soon. I know this video came out very late because it's actually like almost 8 o'clock right now as I'm speaking, and it'll probably come out around like 9 o'clock in the evening, I guess. But I got busy. Like I was gonna have it out early in the morning like I usually do, but I messed up. I ran out of time because the fight was taking so long, and I didn't know what the heck I wanted to talk about. And this video is actually done. What am I talking about? Whatever. See y'all later. Take care. It's been your boy. Next will be Seething Baths, and we're almost done. We got like 3 more monsters after this. Dead serious.